How's it going, guys? I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMovieScreens.com, and welcome back to my continuing coverage of the 2016 Dallas International Film Festival. And I got another one to review for you guys, and that would be Transpeco. Now, what is this movie, you may ask? Well, that's a good question. I will tell you right now. It won the Audience Award at South by Southwest, and I was down in South by Southwest, and I happened to miss it because I already had my films listed out and stuff, and that just wasn't one of them, unfortunately. Winning the Audience Award definitely kicked me into high gear to actually want to see it, even though I read like kind of like a general plot synopsis, and I'm like, that sounds pretty interesting. I love like desert type thrillers. Those are like the most intriguing to me for some weird reason. I love thrillers set in the desert. Sue me. So going into this one, I had high expectations because of the Audience Award and stuff. So what did I think of this one? I liked it quite a bit. So let's get real and break this down. So what is Transpeco? So let me read the plot synopsis to you and see if this intrigues you, tickles your fancy, if you will. For 3 Border Patrol agents working on a remote desert checkpoint, the contents of one car will reveal an insidious plot within their own ranks. The next 24 hours will take them on a treacherous journey that could cost them their lives. Interesting. And you know what's really funny about this review? That's all I'm going to say about the movie. I know there's a lot of plot twists in there. There's a lot of things that happen that are unexpected, to where if I feel like I delve in deep into this review, it will spoil things for people. I won't control myself, so I'm just going to be very general and very vague about the categories that I review movies on. So let's start with the writing and directing. As far as the writing goes, the story itself is very engaging. As soon as the first plot twist happens, you are immediately hooked. It is like a drug. And you are just fascinated by what's going on. You're like, how is this movie going to end? What's going to happen with these characters and whatnot? So I really like the story. It is very engaging, and it just keeps you on the edge of your seat. What a true thriller does. As far as the dialogue goes, it fuels the movie. It's spoken at 100 miles an hour between all 3 of the Border Patrol people to keep the movie going, and it's all just interesting because everyone's just wondering what the crap is going on. So I thought it was really well written for the most part, for sure. I guess as a negative, and this is just a selfish thing, I wish we would have seen more of certain things towards the very end, because we've been hyping up until that point to where it'd be kind of cool to see a specific thing, but they didn't show that, and they focused on the relationship between the 3 Border Patrol guys, and I'm totally okay with that. So that's not really a grab; it's just a selfish thing. And as far as the characters go and the way they're written, they're very complex. There's a lot of emotion behind each one of them. And there's a lot of confliction in terms of maybe some of them feel like they're the antagonist versus the protagonist, or vice versa. And it's really great storytelling, and it's really great directing. So moving on to that, the director really nailed it on this movie. Not only was this movie filled with tense and suspense, it was like foaming at the brim with tension and suspense and stuff. It's just, once the first like kind of like plot twist happens, you are in for a hell of a ride, to put it lightly. And I thought the director, for the most part, kept your interest and kept that mystery surrounding the movie and the tone just very consistent, and just really making a really great thriller in the desert. I mean, like I said, I don't know what it is with deserts and thrillers, but I'm a huge fan of them. Another movie I will suggest, there was one that was a few years ago. I watched it on Netflix, and it was called Scenic Route. Like, I don't even want to say anymore. Just go find it. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the same way with this one. Just watch this one. It's just thrillers in the deserts are the best thing. So yeah, the writing and directing are pretty strong, despite my personal selfish reasons. Acting wise, everyone does a really great job. Clifton Collins Jr., I don't need to say anymore. It's Clifton Collins Jr., but he's really good. I'm more impressed with Johnny Simmons because, listen, I've been a fan of this guy ever since Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And then he's been in movies like Perks of Being a Wallflower, The Stanford Prison Experiment, which is like a movie with a bunch of independent like actors like thrown into one movie. It's actually quite magical. But no, everyone does a really great job. It was nice to see Johnny play more of a leading role, because he's more of like the side character in all of this stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just about time he got his due. And I'm glad to see him in the forefront. But that's all I'm going to say, because if I say anything about the characters and the way they develop or whatever, then it kind of ruins stuff for you. But I just will say everyone delivers a fantastic job. I believed the chemistry between all three of them, and I believe that they were Border Patrol. So that is a huge plus on the acting, is I believed everything that was going on, and they sold it to me quite well. The only thing Johnny Sims didn't sell me on is his mustache. Johnny, I don't think facial hair is your thing, but you know, it's not my thing either. I can't even grow a mustache, so I hope that was real. But no, yeah, I'm just kidding. But as far as the acting goes, everyone does a fantastic job, and I was sold into this story based on their performances. Cinematography-wise, this thing is all shot in the desert, and the one thing I really like about what the director did is he kept the costs low. It's easy. Film in one location. I love one location type of movies, because those are the trickiest movies to make, because you have to keep it interesting. You have to keep that tension there, because if you let it go flat or die off at any point, you've lost the audience. That never happens with this movie. And for the cinematography, I like the way it was shot. It felt gritty. It felt intense, and it felt real. I felt like I was walking in the desert with these people, sweating on my back and feeling that heat from the sun. So that's how well shot it is. I felt like I was there with them, and I felt the heat from the sun. I felt the intense scenes. I felt the calmer scenes. It just it really captured the openness of the desert, but still focusing on the intimate relationship between these three Border Patrol people. So I thought that was a kind of a nice little contrast, but it is definitely shot very, very well. As far as the editing goes, this movie is only an hour and 26 minutes. So minus, 5 to 10 for credits. It's a pretty short movie. However, you're never going to be bored. Like I said, it kind of starts out, it sets up everything. It sets up the relationship between the three. And then once the certain thing happens, you're like, okay, I'm totally in. So as far as the way the movie is paced out and whatnot, and the way it's structured, I thought the editing was very well. It's very snappy, very, very quick, and just kind of keeps you interested in that mystery is just there, and you're like, what's going to happen type of deal. So I was never bored with it. Guys, listen, Transpeco, I don't know what the distribution is on this thing. I don't know if it is going to be distributed. I actually think it'd be a pretty good Netflix movie. Believe it or not, I think maybe it should hit a limited, kind of like a small theater run and then go straight to Netflix. I think it'd be perfect for that. So Transpeco is a really good, solid thriller. If you like thrillers, I think you'll really like this one. There's a lot of stuff that's unanswered, but it still kind of keeps your mind working in terms of guessing what it could be and stuff. And I think that's satisfying, because the movie ends and you're satisfied with the whole arc of the story, but then there's still some questions just like, ooh, what if that happened, or what if that happened? So it's a really good, solid thriller. I like it quite a bit. So if you like thrillers and deserts like me, since I'm the only one on the planet that does, then I think you should definitely check this one out. I do highly recommend this one quite a bit. So that's why I'm going to give Transpeco B+. Like I said, guys, I'm sorry about the vague review, but I felt like if I dived in any deeper than what I did, I'd be spoiling some stuff. And I think this is a movie that you should go into blind, just like I did. I had no idea what to expect. I knew it was set out in the desert. I didn't even read the plot synopsis. I just kind of looked at the picture and I was like, okay, that's 3 guys in a desert. I'm in. So, yeah. So have you seen Transpeco, or have you even heard of it? Comment in place with my face and let me know. And I'm Chase Lee, guys, reporting for DallasMovieScreens.com. And tune in next time for whatever I review next from this awesome festival. I'll see you guys later.